There is. I was invited to visit the family home of a friend of mine, Boniface. And we stayed for a couple of hours outside drinking tea and talking with his grandmother and aunts and uncles. And he mentioned that he had a brother, but the brother was inside the house. The house was a mud brick, one-room home. And we went in and started talking to his brother, Marcelo. And he's 32 years old and has been laying on that ground for 4 years. He's convinced he had tuberculosis and HIV. So we greeted each other, spent a couple minutes together, and I made my way home. And I couldn't get that out of my mind, that picture of a 32-year-old guy just paralyzed with whatever it was on the ground there. And so I saw my friend Boniface the next day and just asked for more details about the brother's story, and it turns out that he had never been tested for tuberculosis. And no one voiced the idea that he had HIV, but everyone was thinking of it. There's still a stigma in the rural areas. I was in Musoma, Tanzania, on Lake Victoria. So in the rural areas, no one says it, but everybody's thinking it. But it turns out he had never been tested even for tuberculosis. And so he had been taking local medicines, local treatments from the earth type of medicine, and none of it worked. It would suppress the symptoms for a little while. But after talking with Bonnie, my friend, he said, someone like you, if you would just talk to him and ask him to get tested and tell him about the resources that are available in the way of, tuberculosis most of the times can be treated, and the treatment is free from the government of Tanzania. And he needs to hear it from someone like you, someone he believes in will follow through and has the resources and knows what's available. So I went to the house and invited Marcelo down to the lake, and we had a couple of sodas and talked about his fear of testing and what that means, and that he might indeed have HIV along with the tuberculosis. But we need to know what he has and that there are resources available to treat it. And we went to the hospital, tested. It turned out he did not have tuberculosis, he did not have HIV, and it was just fear that had paralyzed him for years. And severe asthma and an allergy. So with allergy medication and asthma medication, he's able to walk now. And he's fishing, and he's volunteering with projects at the retreat center where I lived. So I felt my role there was simply being there, observing the situation and seeing how my knowledge of the resources available in the area and my willingness to talk about things that may be culturally there, people don't talk about, we're able to improve the situation. I feel I'm able to be less judgmental. I realize that human beings, as human beings, we do the best we can in this situation that we're born into. And from the suburbs of Philadelphia to Musoma, Tanzania, on Lake Victoria, people are doing what they can with the resources that they have. So I feel like I'm able to withhold judgment and be a better friend and companion to whoever I'm with in my life. A profound lesson for me is that as human beings, as a human family, we are all interconnected. Oftentimes in our society, we focus on the individual. So we think of poverty as an individual problem, whereas it's systemic. There are people working hard every day and are barely able to keep food on the table. So that translates into our sense of responsibility. With the opportunities we're given, with the education and the time and the knowledge to explore ourselves and realize who we are, with that comes a responsibility to take care of our neighbor.